So, as a parent, especially mothers, it's always us thinking, are we doing the right thing? Always second and questioning whether we are doing the right thing. One thing I've realized is successful people, and I'm not saying being successful is more important than your kids, but if you get successful and teach yourself how to be successful, you be able to teach your children. You can't teach people what you don't have. And if you don't have success, you can't teach it. So please do not read me wrong. But what I find today, because obviously I've lived and I've experienced, is that the reason why my success is so delayed is because I've put my kids 100%. In fact, it's been 150%. I can document my life, and I've got videos, I've got photos to show it. My life has been about my kids. And I'm not saying to not make your life about your kids, but when you look at successful people, most of them, it's men leaving the women at home to work with the kids and manage the kids and do everything else at home. And the guy will go and work on the business side of things and make sure that everything is successful. And when they come home, they're not 100% dads either. I'm not saying they're not dads, but they're not going to just allow their kids to just say, hey, I'm home now. You give me 100% of your time. They go, hang on a second, I've just got to do this is whatever they have to do. And the kids will understand that and respect that. Especially boys, they won't grow up and say, why did you not pay attention to me when I was growing up? They'll understand that dad had to work, dad had to do this. But they also understand that mom had to do that. But as a single mom, it's really different because you try and give your kids everything. Their attention, what they're missing out on, and you're more emotionally involved than anything else in your kid's life, that you're more distracted than a male. A male will put the foot down and say, hey, you talk to me. Oh, daddy has to do this. Give me 10 minutes. I've got to make a few phone calls. And the kids will be like, okay, I'll come back in 10 minutes. With moms, it's very different. We just we stop at every second. And that's a good distraction, but it also cannot serve you if you want to be like the person that brings in the 100% money, the 100% this, the 100% everything. You can't balance life like that. So it comes down to what were you created to be? A mom and a dad and a provider? No, because and I think we're at a stage where women are getting it wrong and guys are getting it wrong too. And the reason why I say that is it started off with men not providing at some point, and then the women took over. And then when they did, they got the taste of that power of I can do it on my own, to now telling the guy, I don't need you. You can leave if you want to. And a guy thinking, oh, really? Okay, I'm going to make my own money then. And so he builds his own money and he's choosing his ways and how he wants to live life. And a woman has done the same thing. I'm going to choose how I want to live my life. But we've created a world that is not healthy for both men and women. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because a man has lost the power of being a man and being a provider along the way. And he's now become this person that has options because he had to build wealth, which is fair. But also a woman learned how to be independent, way too independent if you ask me, to where they think they can be a man and a woman and be a provider and if they've got kids, be a father and a mother to the kid, our kids or children. It doesn't work like that though. Both worlds are letting each other down. And I'll tell you why. You cannot replace a man and his position as a husband, a boyfriend. Oh, you can replace that. But let's just say as a husband and as a man in a relationship and as a father. Now, you can argue all you want to do and say, well, I can provide for myself, I can provide for my son, I can provide for my daughter. Not really. You can be a billionaire and still not fulfill that role. The reason why you don't succeed in that role, and it's the same for guys, by the way. It's a shame that we've come to this, but as a woman, don't think you are going to be 100% successful as a parent. Either you're raising a girl or a boy. And the reason why I say that is children need both male and female in their life. If they're missing out on one, they are going to make mistakes that they should have been avoided if they had both parents. And don't come for me on this one, but I think it also depends on whether they've got the right figures in their lives. It doesn't have to be a parent. It can be a neighbor that is just like a male figure for them or a female figure for them. It can be a church person, it can be whoever you want to think about. But I don't believe for 2 seconds that we were meant to raise children single-handedly. Unless you're forced to, that's fine. I would never, ever wish upon myself to say I'm going to raise a child by myself. Maybe one day I did because I was hurting. But once you grow up and then you realize, I wish I had better parents. And I wish they raised me. I wish they gave me love. I wish they gave me this. It's so different. So I think we've messed everything up as male and as female. Males have learned not the right way to be providers and protect. That's been ripped off them because female was treated so wrongly as well. And they said, no, I'm not going to be treated like that if I can earn the money and be independent. So both have just gone to war for no good reason. Instead of sitting down and saying, hey, I have a role, so do you. Just sit down and just acknowledge it. We've created our own monsters. Female and male have created what we have today, which is disaster, if you ask me, because we're now more single, more depressed, more anxious, more kids are growing up without seeing their fathers, mothers, and it's just a disaster. And it's not going to change until we change and realize that we've created something that we can reverse. We can. Hang on, this thing is closing down. Okay, we're back. We can reverse it. I start off with my kids. I tell them I will never take away the male out of their life. That's because I can't replace that. And as much as you do not agree with your ex-husband, boyfriend, or whatever, give that man a chance. Let him figure it out and mess it up if he's going to. But don't pin that on you and then go around and tell the kid that the father is a bad person. Let the kid figure it out. Let the kid decide. Because at the end of the day, that's the dad. It's not about you. Same thing with Mel. It's not about you. It's about the kid. Anyway, looks like I've run out of time. I just want to say that this started when men changed and the role was reversed and the female changed and the male changed. It's like we've been going back and forth. And we've just created this big monster group. And it will take a bit of time for us to all change and go back to male needs to be male, female needs to be female. I'm not saying a female needs to be treated badly or male, but let's meet in the middle. Let's go back to where things made sense. Love you guys. Now I got to go. Bye.